Natural progression, I think, because we've always been, we're always curious about expanding our musical horizon, so it's just kind of what we've been listening to. Like, it's a lot of, it's a lot of rock and roll still, it's a lot of psychedelia and a lot of that kind of stuff, but also, like, for this record, our drummer has, his dad's a jazz pianist, so he started playing Mingus songs before he started playing, Led Zeppelin songs, so like his influences come through that, and our keyboard player that's on this record is mainly an Afrobeat musician, so we just kind of take influences from each other. Like, our keyboard player, he'll play Afrobeat to us and we'll play rock to him. It'll just be on the launch, For every record we made, that record was a sort of a consequence and a reaction to the previous record. So Armed Love was in a way a reaction to the one before that, and now because when we did Armed Love, we felt that, like, okay, we just want to, like, we're working with Regrouping, we want to do a sort of straightforward rock and roll record, like just 10 songs, just boom, boom, boom. And we did that, and we liked the record, but when we look back upon it, it's not, the earlier stuff was more playful, more joyous, so we kind of wanted to combine the songwriting of Armed Love, because I think we learned how to write good songs with Armed Love, so we wanted to take that, but also have the playfulness of the previous records. And also because with Armed Love, we toured for a long, we toured for 3 years on that record, so we just played a lot together and became better musicians and got to know each other even better. So it's just kind of like wanting to be playful, wanting to express ourselves in that kind of way that made this record happen. And I think a big part is Regrouping for sure. I think also because, now we've been a band for 10 years, so you're bound to, hopefully you will change a little bit. It would be sad if we're still the same band as 8-9 years ago. But with Rick, he kind of taught us how to actually listen to our own songs and, see what the song is and not just like the feeling and if there's a cool riff or if we do a fancy stage move or something like that. He actually taught us to be like, okay, so this part just does not work. And so then you listen and be like, yeah, you're right, maybe we can change this for something else. It'll be like, if we change this part, it'll make this part better. He taught us about like the total structure of the song. So that's really good. He's got a really good ear for knowing all that stuff, obviously. So for us, it was a good experience to actually learn how to listen to ourselves. It's definitely about, a lot of it has to do with the fact, just the title, The Cross of My Calling, has to do with the fact that, we have been a band for a long time. We were always this band that we felt like, if we have a chance of saying something and playing music, we want to do it, it needs to be important and it needs to be something that means something. So we started out being like, we're going to be super radical and we're going to play, music that's going to be really in your face, and after a while it kind of gets like everyone expects you to be that too, so that it kind of becomes a burden sometimes. Sometimes you just want to play rock and roll and have a good time, and you don't want to get off the stage and start talking about heavy topics, but somehow people expect this from us now. So in a way, it's like it's a record that talks about how it's almost difficult to have that role, but also it kind of asks the question, if for ourselves, like why do we do it, and how should we keep going, and what is the next step, and all the important questions about analyzing yourself. So it's like, it feels like when you're younger, you fight the world, but when you get older, you start fighting yourself, and that's what this record is about a lot. So it's about looking at yourself and deconstructing yourself, and kind of pulling yourself apart to put yourself together again. So it's a little bit like that. So it's more a sense of wanting to change yourself to change the world, as opposed to being really proud of who you are and thinking that you're perfect, because obviously if we were, the world would be a better place. If things would change because of music, the world would be a better place. So it's about how do you keep going. It's love. It's like what we talked on the last record is called Armed Love, and that's, I think, what we need to do. Like, it is a struggle and it is a fight, but at the same time you always need to remember what it is you're fighting for, which is basically love, and the new record is a love mission, even though some of the topics are very aggressive. We have a song called Arm Yourself and The Assassination of Myself, very sort of aggressive titles, but in the end it all talks about how we want to we want to live in a world that is actually positive and self-affirming, and based on community that's constantly pushing yourself to be better and better. So that's what it is. It's like, what that song, what the title track talks about, like when the music stops, what are we actually going to do? And it's just just about pushing it even a little bit further, you know. It's like still maintaining a positive outlook. It's hard, but it's what you have to do, because if you become, you know, old and jaded and bitter, it's like, it's still like nothing changes, like we've been doing this for so long, and I just don't see myself ever wanting to be like that, you know. It's like you always, I mean, we always have each other if nothing else, you know. It's definitely a live band. It's very much about the moment, you know. I mean, we love actually now we really love recording records. Firstly we did records so that we would have an excuse to get out on the road and play. Now, like, recording records is really fun and really exciting and a big part of the band, obviously. But it's live that, you know, that we feel when we do our thing, because that's when you really connect with everyone. And we want to be where everyone is, you know. We want to play every single type of venue, and like the big festivals and the small clubs and the, you know, the squats and the demonstrations and everywhere. Play in front of, that was one of our first goals when we started the band. Like, we're gonna play in front of everyone all the time. Just never give up, never give up. Just play in front of everyone. So I think live is definitely like I mean, that's where I've gotten influenced by bands the most, I think. Except for, I mean, obviously like the Beatles and bands like that when you started listening to music. But the shows I've seen are the ones that have inspired me the most. So. I think it's hard, yeah, because people are so individualistic at this point. But what I do think is that if we look at what the, you know, the economic reality looks like right now with the financial crashes all over the world, I hope that people are going to be able to see through the very sort of thin illusion of the fact. I mean, people always tell you that, you know, we have the ultimate system right now. We've come as far as we can go. But it is, in essence, a very selfish system. It's not a system that caters to everyone, and now it just fell apart. And so now all the governments and banks are saying we need everyone's help to push it up again. So I think people are starting to realize how just hollow and shallow it is. And maybe that's a good stepping stone into wanting to, you know, think about other possibilities. I don't think it's going to be easy ever to just do it like that. You know, it's going to take a lot of, you know, it's going to be small steps towards something bigger. But hopefully this is a good starting point for that.